Hey everyone, so I'm going to jump right into chapter 3, which is about your professional image. This is a very important part of working in the salon or any beauty industry because your image is everything. Even though we're taught not to judge a book by its cover, as hairdressers, the difference is that we have to look good to perform our services. And one of the basic ways to do that is to have simple hygiene, to come into work looking neat and clean every single day. Or at least having your hair styled, so you don't want to have it like poofed out up to here and frizzed where it looks like you rolled out of bed or had a hot roller disaster. The book starts a chapter by mentioning that first impressions matter a lot because you're the image behind the business. You're the image of the salon, you're representing yourself, you're representing the salon, and if you're working at a hair school, you're representing the school. So if you're going to talk about style, you have to look stylish. On one note, some of the older cosmetology teachers, they may have a different style than what's modern, and I think this is where a lot of discrepancy comes in with students and the older educators, is that I'm going to jump in and just talk about this regarding tattoos and piercings. Some of the older cosmetologists don't like that, and I know that's not all the older ones, but a majority of them don't. And I think when I was in cosmetology school, we had a no piercing rule, but it was not enforceable because essentially that's discrimination. So if you if you go to a cosmetology school and they tell you no piercings, chances are you can still wear the piercing because most salons are more lenient to what you can look like. I've seen great hair artists have these amazing, stretched ears and tattoos. It may not be my cup of tea, but it may be, the stylist's personal choice. So part of working in the salon, you have to know what the salon that you want to go into will allow. If you're going to a high-end salon, they may be fine with that. Others may not be okay with body jewelry or tattoos. So you want to know what salon you want to work at and how that might affect your current style. I always tell students, if you're going to go into a salon and they criticize your hair and they tell you have to cut your hair, you have to dye your hair this color, chances are it's not going to be a good match if they want you to change yourself. Because as hairdressers, we have to know ourselves first, and that's what cosmetology school is about, is knowing your style, learning yourself, what you like, what you don't like. I always tell my students, don't change yourself to impress your boss. If you're at a job and the job is not accepting what you like or who you are, you're gonna find a job that will. So also, when you're going into a salon, don't just pick the first one, go to a few, because you might be surprised what's out there. Going on to beauty and wellness, personal hygiene is something that can never, ever, ever be underestimated. How you look, how you smell, how you present yourself. These are things that are all going to affect how your clients view you. And there's one snippet in the book that I want to read that I don't agree with because I've witnessed this. 1 week moment of drinking coffee right before performing a service, for instance, or wearing something that needs laundering because you did not plan ahead could spell disaster. Rather than telling you that you smell offensive, most clients will simply not return for another service. I agree that they will not return, but I've been in cases where I've witnessed another stylist getting yelled at or getting made fun of to their face because they had really bad body odor or offensive body odor or too much perfume on. Things like that matter. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a personal hygiene pack. You're going to want toothbrush and toothpaste, mouthwash, dental floss, deodorant. This is all common sense. I always say, I'm not your parent. You should pretty much know by now, if you are an adult, that you need to have good personal hygiene. If you don't, that's a problem. So, on a very important note, smoking. Smoking is something that all salons are known for. Some salons have a no smoking policy, other salons have it, but they don't enforce it. I go to trade shows, and a lot of the jokes is that some of the people on stage will say, I went to a Sam Villa show, for example, and he said, "Okay, guys, time for some fresh air." A lot of stylists do smoke. A lot of the older ones smoke. At one point, they would smoke in the salon, which sounds crazy. If you do smoke, that can be offsetting to your clients. Clients don't want to have to go into a salon and have the odor of smoke or, have to deal with cigarette butts all around. In my state, it's illegal to smoke indoors. However, there was a salon that was in one area. I'm not going to name any names, but my friend worked there as a nail tech, and she had told me that when they would do updos for bridal stylings, they would roll over the roller cart and there would be cigarette butts and cigarette ashes in the roller cart. So they would take the roller out, shake all the ashes out, and then roll someone's hair with that. And I'll be honest, if you try that in a high-end salon, someone would get totally offended and possibly into a verbal thrashing, because I don't think most high-end clients would be okay with having their hair wrapped with cigarette ash. So you always want to make sure you smell and look fresh. We all have bad days, I understand, and I would have more respect as a salon owner or a salon manager if someone would call me up and say that, look, I messed up, I didn't, sleep right, I, partied last night, or I went out when I shouldn't have gone out, and I want to get ready, I want to make sure I look the part. You're probably going to get yelled at or get like a, come on now, you know better. But at least give them the heads up that you're going to be late, because they would rather have you looking and smelling fresh than not coming in at all, number one, or coming in smelling and looking bad. So read all this, the personal grooming tips. Know that your professional image is important. Know that some salons have a no fragrance policy. Some clients may be allergic or off-put by a lot of perfume. If you're putting on perfume, just do a little spritz or cologne. Do not douse yourself in it, otherwise it's going to smell like you didn't shower, and the odor is going to offend other stylists as well as other clients. Know that wearing inappropriate shoes is bad for, not only the business, but bad for your health. Open-toed shoes can be apt to spilling dangerous chemicals in them. Hot irons can fall, leading to foot burns. If something breaks in the salon, you can glass in your foot and cut your foot. And the other issue is it could wear down on your back. So know that makeup is very important. The book says you should always wear makeup, and for state board, some state boards require that females wear makeup. So that is one important thing to be mindful of. You're going to want to behave professionally. That's a given. Know your salon's dress code. I know some salons have a very strict dress code. Others are more lax, or you can wear like band t-shirts and flannels. Those are the ones that I prefer. Most salons, and I'll tell you this, they prefer the color black, and that's because black is a signature color of stylists. Part of the reasoning is that it's about the client, not about the stylist. But other salons, you're allowed to dress fancy. Know that your physical presentation involves your posture, so you want to look confident. Not only do you want to sound and look the part, but you're going to want to use your posture, like your nonverbal communication. If you're slouched like this all day, that's going to send a different message than having your back up and being ready to work. Read all the tips about keeping your neck elongated, all those things. Sit with your back straight. All these little things will protect your body from wearing down quicker as you get older. Know that ergonomics is the science of designing the workplace and its equipment to make specific body movements more comfortable, efficient, and safe. Ergonomics fits the job to the person rather than the other way around. So they have hair cutting methods when you cut palm to palm, when you have certain tools, using the Marcel iron instead of the spring iron, because using the spring irons too much can lead to carpal tunnel. Using ergonomic shears. All these practices will help make sure that your career in the beauty industry lasts as long as possible. Also know that certain equipment should be ergonomic. And I'll be honest, certain salons just don't have the money, or they may not have updated their equipment to be ergonomic. So if you work in a salon, I would rather that you would practice good body posture, good things like that. Skills like that are much more important. I almost said deportment, which, fun fact, you might hear that in a fancier salon, but if they say have good deportment, that means good posture, good body skills. If you're working, cutting hair all day, if you're standing up on your feet, that's going to affect your legs. If you're slouching, you're going to feel it. It's a workout. I know a lot of stylists still joke because they'll eat like feasts for lunch and dinner and a lot of snacks. That's because you're burning so many calories by standing up like that, doing the repetitive movements like blow drying, cutting hair, coloring. All those things matter. When I bought my blow dryer was compact but effective. It made it so you can work like this instead of having your arms up like this with a heavy blow dryer. Because over time that will wear down and you will get carpal tunnel. Usually carpal tunnel is a given in the beauty industry, especially for hairdressers. It doesn't always have to be. I want to say that getting tools have helped a lot and to maybe have offset it. If you do have carpal tunnel though, there's some great natural remedies for it. There's great, doctors, alternative doctors that can help you with that. So there was one point in here that I just wanted to end this on because I thought this was interesting. And it said, when cutting hair, sit if you can. Some of the top salons will sell sitting chairs for stylists where they can actually sit and cut hair. And I think that's pretty innovative. I think that a lot of high-end salons should have devices like that because it sets the image and it raises the bar that much higher to where stylists and the clients understand why the prices are, higher, why it reflects that. If you're working in a high-end place, the equipment should be ergonomic and you should be working and looking the part. So on that note, common sense, good personal hygiene, be clean, don't be dirty, don't be dingy. Some of you may also know it as ratchet, don't be ratchet. Be as professional as you can be. So this is chapter 3. The next chapter, chapter 4, is going to be on communicating for success. Also another very short chapter. That's going to be on how to work with clients, how to deal with not so nice clients. And that will be a little bit longer because I have a lot of good stories to go along with that. So on that note, I will see you guys soon for chapter 4.